All right, how's it going? Welcome to my third Gamedev stream. Today I'll finally start working on the minigames for Gridle. Last 2 days we worked on the party orbs. Now that those are finally fully implemented, it's time to actually start doing the minigames that they unlock. If you recall from the last stream, we implemented the actual applying logic of the party orbs, so you can apply them to the classes. The saving logic, we did the actual sprite of the party orb. And yeah, that's about it on what we've done so far. If you're new to this stream, make sure to wishlist Gridle. This is a game I'm working on. The link should be in the stream description. Otherwise, it's just a spell like this on Steam. Right. So my plan is basically that the party orbs you use will each separate class in the game, currently there's 4, will have a unique minigame. So the first one we'll work on is the one for the knight, which is, as I said, a platforming minigame. So this is what I have right now. We just have a little character that we can control, right? And that's about it. This is all we have right now. So yeah, we're basically doing a platformer game from scratch, which is gonna be really fun, I think. Now there's 2 ways I could go about doing this, right? When it comes to level design, I could either create my own levels and have like 10 to 15 ones that I just that we just randomize whenever the player starts the minigame. Or, which could be a bit more interesting, is make the levels be randomly generated once you actually boot up the minigame. That way we'll have a unique game each time, but there's some more challenges, obviously, since we gotta make sure that the level is completable and all that. So I think I'll start by just sketching up a basic level with the goal and whatnot, and then we can think about doing actual generation of the levels later. Right. If I recall correctly, there is a there should be some platformer art that is from this same asset pack. I just gotta find it. I think it's here, Pixel Fantasy, Pixel Tile Engine here, tiles. Let's see here. Oh, that is not how I wanted to open it. But yeah, we have some basic props, I guess. But no ground. Obviously we want that. It's a demo scene here. Oh right, they have a full, fully fleshed out editor that you can use, but that's not what I want. I think there should be some tiles. Ground maybe here. Yes, this is what I want. So these are the actual tiles that we can use in the game. Right, we have this. And this is going to make it much easier to actually sketch out the level. Let's see here. Right. I think I might start with the thing is also we can, on top of like either generating or designing, there's 2 ways we can actually design the level. Either we have we just have objects that we can freeform place out like this, right? Or we use a grid. which means that we get more, like the pixel art aligns much better, but it gives us less freedom at the same time. And I do believe, though, it's going to look much better if we actually do a grid. So I'll try that for now. I'll add a rectangular tile map. Right? And then we need, we're going to need several tile maps, I think. Obviously, there's going to be the ground tile map, and that one is going to require a tile map collider. Or I think just, tile map collider 2D. Okay, let's see. Because there was a problem yesterday where the character actually required a normal collider, not a 2D one, like a 3-dimensional. So there might be some issues with using a tile map collider, since that's 2D. Let's just try this and see what we get. Okay, so it does have a collider now. Hopefully it works. No. That is a shame. I'm really not sure how... Terrain collider? I don't think that's going to do it. Let me just search this up. I have to add 3D collider to tile map. If that's even possible, I'm not sure it is. Seemingly no easy way to do it, which is annoying, to say the least. I'm assuming... I'm really not sure what's actually handling the collision in this, because the character doesn't have a collider. And I think it gave me some info when I tried to add one, yeah. It conflicts with the existing character controller derived components, so it is the character controller. But this is just... This is a built-in Unity component, I think. How to make character controller use 2D collider. Apparently the character controller component is not even like it doesn't handle 2D. So let's see. I'll try removing it and see what happens, I guess. If we can still control the character. No, we cannot, because the character script actually uses it. And how does it... Oh, it doesn't. What? It's not using it at all. Oh, that's the stream link. No. That's odd. Okay, so I can just remove this, I guess. What about... Oh, this one also, character controls. Yeah, and here we actually use it. That's annoying. There's no time map collider 2D. Yeah, no. Composite collider is also 2D. Huh. So I guess would need to just instantiate ground objects. But I gotta say that's going to be super tedious. Making it with tile maps like this is much more convenient. Like, as you can see, you can just draw freely. I'm really not sure what is the best way. What if... Is there anything equivalent for 3D? Maybe? It's terrain, but that... No. No, I'm not sure what this does. That's not gonna work. Huh. I guess the other thing I could do is just write my own... No, not character builder. Character controls. I mean, this is seemingly just... it's fairly simple. It's just a basic 2D code for movement. Either I write my own or I modify this to not use the character controller at all. I think I write my own. Yeah. Let me do that. Let's create a minigames folder. And then in here we do platformer. Platformer movement. Right. So let's write it from scratch, I guess. See here first what we can remove. The character, what does that do? Get state and set. That's I think this could be useful to keep. Character builder, we don't want. Oh, let's unpack this prefab first so we don't get those annoying warnings. Character controls, we remove. Character controller, we remove. We gotta add a rigid body for the physics. And then we'll finally add a 2D collider. So it'll actually collide with the 2D objects. Here we go. And then let's try sketching up a bit of ground, just so we have something to walk on. And let's add back the time map collider. There. Now our character should at least collide with the ground. That's like step 0. Yeah, okay. Perfect. So we got collision working. Now we need to get some basic movement. And this is the part where you gotta consider what sort of input you want to support, I guess. If I want controller support and whatnot, it's going to be a bit more code to do. But I don't... I think we'll start with the basic controls and then I'll worry about controller support and whatnot in the future. So let's start with getting a reference to our rigid body. Oh, and by the way, I think I fixed this issue with VS Code, like forcing down the opening curly brackets. So let's start by getting the rigid body component. We also want a private variable that keeps the movement direction, the current intended movement direction. We'll get this direction in the update method. This is a function that's called every frame in the game. So every frame will get the intended direction. No, we won't. We'll get the intended horizontal direction by doing input.getAxis raw horizontal. I'm pretty sure that gives us a normalized value, like it's between -1 and 1. So then we can store this in the direction. The intended direction will be new vector 2 of our x value as well as the current intended y direction, I think. No, let's not do that. Let's store a float called x direction. There, I think that's all we'll do for the update for now. X direction. And then in the fixed update method, this is kind of similar to update, but it is it's called a fixed amount of times per second, so it's not frame rate based. Here we'll do oh, first of all we need a variable for movement speed, I guess. Let's set that to like 5 as the default value. Here we'll do set the rigid body's velocity to new vector 2 of x direction times the movement speed, and the y value will be our current y velocity, because we don't want to change that every frame. We want the physics and the jumping logic to handle that. Start by increasing the gravity scale a bit, so that was super slow. Oh, and of course I gotta actually apply the movement script. Platformer movement. There we go. Right. So now we got basic movement implemented. Obviously the animation is not updating based on what we're doing, but we'll get to that. Movement is done. I think we'll next step will be just a basic jump method. That we should be able to do in the update. So we'll define a method called just jump, or it could be private. And then we want another serializable field called jump strength. We'll set that to try 16 and see how that works. So for the jump, we'll just do kind of the same as we do in fixed update, but in reverse order. New vector 2, we'll set the velocity to the current x velocity as well as the jump strength. So we just apply the velocity outright, the upward momentum. Of course, now we can do this whenever we want. We don't have any ground check, so we need to add that as well. I'll start with checking if get the key down, if we press a key down. And this is only called on the actual first down press. So when you hold it, it's not gonna get spammed. If you don't holding logic, then it's just get key. Think key code dot space. We'll just do space for now. And that will call the jump. Let's see how that works. Can move, jump, and it's a really weak jump. Let's try 24. Oh, and I forgot to lock the rotation. Right. Alright. But I think this is fine. 24. We need to up the movement speed a lot. This is really not. I think something like this is fine. I really like snappy movements when it comes to platformers. I don't like when they feel sluggish. And that's also why I usually don't do any like turning or not much turning slowdown. Like it takes time to build up momentum when you turn and whatnot. And of course, yeah, as you can see, we don't have any ground checks, so we can just jump freely right now. Right, so let's start by, well, let's not lock the rotation for now. It's fun to see some goofs. I think we have move dust, jump dust. We have all of this, but we don't have anything to do ground check. The way I usually do it is I just define an additional collider at the feet. Something like this. And just have this check if the character is on the ground or not. Something like that, maybe, yeah. Guess we... Let me tweak this a little bit for now. Maybe this is the hitbox that we want. Like only the feet can actually land on the ground. I think that's better. And then of course we want the ground check to be the same. Something like that, I think. Yeah. The reason I don't make it all the way out is because if you make it the same size, they can get these weird bugs where, for example here, where you actually start falling through. The ground check could actually touch this, even though they're theoretically the same size. There's floating point issues and whatnot that could cause it to act as if the character's on the ground. So we'll keep it a bit smaller than the actual overall hitbox. Right, now I see now that this is the hitbox is way too much. It's too high. I think that's better. Yeah, I'll just do 0.4. And we get this down a little bit. I think this is good. Right. I'll do a separate script for the ground check. Which I'll apply it immediately so we don't forget. Ground check, and then we do... I also have this marked as a trigger, which means it won't act as a collider in the sense that it will actually stop at the objects it hits, but it will still detect that it enters something. So it will detect when the ground enters this area, but it won't actually stop at this area, if that makes sense. So we'll need a reference to the... oh, my bad. Platformer movement. And then we'll have two methods. One is on trigger enter 2D. Oh, that got messed up for some reason. I'll just do this then. And one on trigger exit 2D. So these are methods that are automatically called when an object enters this trigger. So let's see. We need, of course, a method in here to tell it whether we're touching the ground or not. Touching ground. And then we'll keep that state in here. Grounded. Set the grounded state, and then in the jump method we check if we actually are grounded. Oh, then and only then do we want to apply the jump logic. And then here we just call the, what do we call it? Touching ground. We call it here when something enters, and we call it with balls when we exit glider. This will cause bugs in the future, because right now we're looking at every single collider possible. So even if we're jumping on another trigger collider, for example, that we don't collide with, then it will think that we are on the ground. The same if we jump on enemies and whatnot. So in the future I will have to, I guess I could do that now. I'll have to define it as a separate layer. Call it ground check. Let's see what the ground is. That is nothing. So I think ground check. I think we'll keep the ground as default for now. But then what we can do is use this layer collision matrix. That's what it's called. This allows you to define which layers collides with each other. So by doing it sort of like this, we can tell Unity that we want our ground check to only collide with default layers, or the default layer. And then in the future, if we have enemies, then they'll have the enemy layer, and we won't actually collide with those. Of course, you can also do some checks with the collision. Like you can do collision.get collider, I think. Let's get... Oh no, the collider is already, yeah. So this is the collider that we collide with. But then we could get the game object that we collided with, and obviously get more information regarding that, and do the logic based on what sort of game object we collided with. That's also possible, but doing it with layers is much cleaner, I think. Right, so the ground check, we need a reference to our platformer movement. Drag that in, and now we should be able to jump still, yeah. And we cannot double jump, we can only jump. Oh. And now we can't jump anymore because he fell over. How do I rotate this guy? Which keep... Oh, and I just removed him. Get up, please. But... Oh, there we go. Alright, yeah. And of course I made the changes you make in the editor while while you're playtesting, they get reverted, which is unfortunate. So I'll have to remember these values. I think we had 12 and 24. Yeah, I mean 12 is a bit too much. I think 8 might be more appropriate. I think it's time to force him to stand up now. Because now that we have the ground check, it's going to prevent us from testing more. We'll do freeze rotation set. And that'll cause him to always stand up. And of course the changes got reverted again. 24 and 8. That is, now I see it is way too high, like the jumping. About 20. Yeah, I think this is fine. As long as we'll able to like jump over ourselves. And I see now that this thing is misaligned somewhere. I think. No, it's not. Huh, okay, this tile map is, or this tile palette is really misaligned. That's a problem. So I'll just use these then, for now. And I guess we'll test, use this to make sure that we can actually jump over obstacles and whatnot. So we cannot go under here, that's a problem. Alright, then we can get stuck to the walls like this. We can't jump. Almost, come on. I don't think we can. So then obviously the jump strength is too low. What if I do 24 again? Yeah, then we can do this. Alright, so there's a few problems. We want to we gotta shrink the hitbox just a little bit to make sure that our character can actually squeeze through the 1 block high gaps. I think if we just do 0.9, then obviously we need to push the hitbox further down. Was that it? Oh, that was the wrong direction. There we go. So now we should be able to squeeze through, and then there's the problem of him being able to stick to the walls. I think we can just add a physics material to prevent that. Where do we have that? Physics material. That's not, that's a 3D one. Are they the same? No, they're not. Physics material 2D here. We'll just define a slippery physics material. Have it have a friction of 0, and then we'll just apply that to our character. That should solve the sticking to wall problem. Yeah. We still can't squeeze through these gaps though, which is weird. I feel like that should be possible now. Yeah, it definitely should. So what if we really like shrink it down? 0.8. Still no. Huh. So there's the problem. It's probably not with the collide. No, it's not. Oh, here we can. Oh, what? Oh, we can all of a sudden. What if I do 0.8 again? What just happened? Oh, I changed the... I didn't change the size, I just changed the offset. Yeah. Okay, so 0.8 is fine. 0.9... Oh, it is fine. Alright. We'll keep that then. 0.9, and we gotta drag up the jump strength. There we go. That works fine now. It does kind of get stuck some. Yeah, look at that. It's really awkward. Sort of gets stuck still. So what if I do... Oh no. Goodbye. I temporarily set his collider size to 0. We just got voided. So let's do 0.85. So that's still, it's doing some weird, awkward bug. I don't really know what would cause it. 0.75. If this doesn't work, then it's another problem. Yeah, there's definitely something else going on here. Like, why is it... Why can I move through it from one direction but not the other? What? That's so weird. Alright. What if the gap is too high? Does that also cause an issue? No, of course not. No, it does. What? Oh! I think I know what the problem is. The problem is not even with these blocks. It's just the ground. Yeah. I think it's adding individual colliders for each of these squares. And then once again, you can get these weird clipping issues. If a collider is like just slightly higher on some planes due to once again floating point precision errors. So I think we have to add a composite collider. What that does is basically for each of these like blobs of object, it creates one big collider for them. So this would have one collider, this has one, and this has one. I think that might solve it. Oh, and I forgot that also adds a rigid body to the thing. Okay, so it just fell into the void. We're gonna make that static. There we go. And there's still that problem though. Huh. Oh, I think also another way, another small thing that you want to do is add some edge radius. Not to the composite. Oh, here. Forgot to check. Oh, right. Yeah, that was the problem. As you can see, they still have the individual hitboxes. You gotta tick this box in your collider that says used by composite. And there we go. We got rid of all. So you can see the lines disappear. And there's only these green outlines now. With a big entire blob. That should do it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so we don't have that problem anymore. Perfect. Yeah. It's gone. Great. Let's see here. I guess the animation is the next obvious step that we should do. That way it will actually look good, of course. So we had I'll look how this this control function did it. Gridle, how's it going? How you doing, man? Let's see here. Get down. I mean, it was controlling the movement animation, I think. Oh, it's just doing this. Oh, that is amazing. So we can just call set state in the character help script. Animation state are running. Yes, please. That is that's really clean. So I guess we'll check if we can just check if our intended x direction, if the absolute value, so if it's negative, we just turn it positive. If this is greater than 0.75, then we'll set the state to running. It's not... I guess I need a reference to it. Yeah, public character. So let's do that too. Oh, we need to import the names. No, we don't. Or do we? Right, it's this really long namespace. Character, and I want to have them... I don't like the caps in the first letter for variables. We'll set state. Animation state is an ambiguous animation state. But I'm not a... That's weird. Oh, here we have to define which animation state we actually mean. Yeah. There we go. So that will actually do the running animation. I guess we want to set it to idle if we're not running. Let's see how they did it. Move. Animation state dot running. We have the jumping. Okay, I think I'll start with this. How's it going? I saw that you've released some games. Yeah, I have. I'm still in university. It's going to be my last year now, after the summer. But yeah, I've released a couple of games, and this is the one I'm working on right now. It's called Gridle. I released it on the web so far, and I'm hoping to get a demo out for Steam at the end of the summer. So, I mean, these streams are pretty good to do it, because it forces me to actually get the work done. I guess we wanna flip the character as well, based on which direction we're moving. So I guess he's always facing right. So then we do need a reference to the sprite renderer, which is stored here in the body game object. Or does the character have... No, it doesn't. Okay. So let's add that too, I guess. Private sprite renderer. And then all we'll do is flip on the X based on what we would do. We can't use a... I don't think you can use a ternary operator here, because that will force it to always take on some value. And then basically, when you're not moving, it's going to be biased in one direction. And you don't want that, obviously. Like, if you're moving right and you stop moving right, you want the character to keep facing right. Same if you're moving left and you stop moving. then you don't want the character to all of a sudden flip because the X velocity is 0. So I think we have to do an if-else statement, or an else-if statement here. We'll need to do if the X velocity is larger, then I'll do some small values so we don't get the floating point errors again. X direction. If it is greater, if it is positive, then we do flip X to fall. Is that not how you do? Oh, it's equals, maybe. No? What? Oh, okay. There we go. Else if the X direction is smaller than 1% or 0.01, then we want to flip, right? So that's why we couldn't really do. I mean, otherwise it would have been much cleaner to do it like this. Flip X equals is X direction larger than 0 or smaller than 0, something like that. But like I said, that would cause it to always be true when the direction is 0, which adds a bias. So the character will always face right when not moving. There we go. So then we'll need reference to the sprite renderer and the reference to the character script. And now the animation is always going to be running, I think. Yeah. Because we don't have any condition that causes him to stop the animation. But yeah, now he's turning around based on where we're looking, and there is some animation playing. Now we just gotta add more animation logic, I guess. I think I'll start by doing in here. Or wait. No, that's not good. Else if. Yeah, we gotta check a lot of things here. I just realized. Like some animations obviously have priority over others. If we're jumping, we want the jump animation to play even if we're moving. So let's see how they did it here. Move. If state equals animation, that's really weird. Not sure why you do that. Here, in the move function, switch state only if the animation is idle or ready. Only then do we actually switch to running. Yeah. Right, move, and move is called in the fix update. Yeah, same as ours, pretty much. I guess I think that's cleaner to have a separate move function that we just call instead of doing everything in fixed update. Move. Alright, so if the X direction is larger than 0.75, I think we'll start by getting the state. Current state. And that will equal our character dot get state, I think. Yeah. Here we go. And the state equals animation state dot ready, or it equals this needs to be parentheses. Yeah. Or it equals animation state dot idle. Here we go. So now we'll only set it to running if we're moving in a direction and the past animation was one of these two. Now let's see what we want to do in the else. Else if I think we can do play the jump animation here. Let's see how that works. So we'll just do character dot set state animation state jumping, I guess. And I just realized these probably should be in a separate if statement. There. Because otherwise the else is going to catch the state where we're moving, but we're not in those predefined states. So if we do it like this, equals, yeah. If we do it like this, then this will only catch the cases where we're not moving, moving fast, pretty much. I think I'll up that to 0.5 or decrease it. So then we can try doing set state, animation state idle. Now let's just see how this plays out. Oh wait, we also want to else if we're grounded, because otherwise it's going to overwrite the jump animation all the time. Let's see how this works. Yeah. So it's it goes to the idle when we stop moving. What does the jump even do? That was a weak jump. He's not... I mean, he's like raising his arm a little bit, yeah. Oh yeah, I see now what he's doing. Oh, and we just died. Start that over. I mean, yeah. Oh. Yeah, we can get deadlocked. Okay, I'm not sure why that's happening. Sure, yeah. Could it be that the jump is going over to some other state? No, it's not. Alright. Let's check that. If we're grounded, then we set the animation state to jump. And then in each fix update, we... Right here. This is the problem. This check right here. We can only go back to the running animation if the current animation is ready or idle. So if it's jump, then we can't until we first go idle and then back to the running. I think maybe a better check would be to just, because both of these we only do when we're grounded, right? I think that's a better way to check it. If we're grounded, and then just wrap that around both of these. I think that should work. So we're running, jump. Is he jumping? Barely, right? I can't tell whether the animation or the jump animation is playing or not. No, that's the movement, I think. If we're grounded. Oh, right. I guess we need to do this too. We gotta, in the jump method, we need to set the grounded to false. Even though we have a ground check that does it. The next frame. Ah, there we go. Yeah. What was happening is I'm not yeah. Since we didn't set this to false, then this was still true in the next update before we had left the ground that we were standing on. And then the code went into this because we're still grounded according to the code. And our movement speed is larger than 0.5. So then it went to the running. So yeah, if we just force the grounded to be false after jumping, then we don't encounter that bug. Perfect. It's working. So I guess that is basic animations done. I do definitely want to add some enemies and whatnot that you have to attack. The thing I really want to do is not give them health bars as you'd usually do. I really want to make this platformer kind of force you to just knock the enemies out of the map instead of just defeating them outright. I think that's a much more fun mechanic. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So maybe we want to do some slash input, or at least some animation. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So we have space right now for jumping. Maybe we want to replace that. Space for jump. I wanna try jumping around and see how it feels. Like what would be better. I guess you could just click to attack. Yeah. I think that's what we want to do. Let's try it out. If input get mouse button down 0, which is the left mouse button, and then we want to do an attack. Of course, we don't want to do any ground check or anything here. You should be able to attack pretty much whenever you want. So let's try just setting the state immediately. Mission state dot. What do we have? Idle, ready, walking, running, crawling, jumping, climbing, blocking, dead. Why is that? Why does it not have? That's weird. It does have some, or I guess, yeah. I think it might be, maybe. I think it might be that these are, or here we go. Slash. Attack. Okay, for some reason, the character doesn't have, I guess because the state is more of a lengthy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a state. Defines what state the character is in. Well, something like attack, it's just you do it once and then it's over. So I'll try this then, I guess. Let's see what happens. Nothing. It is clearly reacting or something. It's like restarting the idle animation every time I click. You see, if I spam click, it gets stuck in the idle animation. So there's something I guess we have to set further. Set trigger. We just have a bunch of else ifs. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Animator dot set trigger attack. Huh. Not sure why that's not working. Or, well, it is doing something, obviously, but why it's not playing the animation. Character.animator.set trigger. It's just, do we have the animator set? Yeah, we gotta. And how does the attack animation look? Like nothing. It's not doing anything. That's why, I guess. What about slash? That does something. Jab also does something. I guess I'll try jab for now and see how that looks. Oh. Alright, and we have because I have animation events tied to it. Okay. I think I want to do slash instead. The problem is though, he kind of jumps forward. Or does he? Yeah. That's going, yeah, that looks really weird if you're doing it. No, he goes back a bit. Or... oh, he always goes right. That's even worse. Okay. But I like the way this animation is set up. So I think I'll just do a new one that's similar. What do we have here? We have slash there. Yeah, right. Body position. It's actually manipulating the game object, which is perfect because then we can just remove it. So I'll just copy all of these, I think. Let's see how that works. Platformer attack. We'll add them all like that, and then we'll remove the actual manipulation of the position. Yeah. Platformer attack, and then of course we need our own trigger for this. Platformer attack. And how are these set up? It's just yeah, no transition duration or anything. Any state to platformer attack. If we use the trigger platformer attack, right? And of course we gotta enter that here. Set the trigger. Let's see how it turns out. He's not doing anything once again. For some reason, it's not. Probably something with the transition settings, I would assume. Yeah. Can't transition to self. We gotta turn that off. And that did not fix it. Nope. Why is that? So there's no difference between these two. Let's preview it. He's not doing anything. Why? Yeah, what? Why is it not? Like, clearly it's doing what it's supposed to. Sprite resolver. Oh, did we set the right? Let's see here. Where's the sprite resolver? Here. Slash. It might be that we're not actually setting the category. There. Oh. Why is it doing that now? Stop, please. I'll try this. Try manually doing it and see. There. Let's see if that works. No, still nothing. Why? Why is it not? Preview source state. Here. What? No, wait. This is so weird. What about attack? Oh. Let's see. Oh. Wait. Do we need to give it exit time? I think that's why. It needs to have exit time. That will basically tell Unity that before transitioning to idle or anything else, we must let the animation play for this long. And 1 means 100%, the whole animation. Maybe that's it? No, still nothing. Platformer attack. Are we even... Hold on, let me... Okay, so it's not even... Is it even setting the trigger properly? It is, yes. But we don't transition to the animation for some reason. Even though we should. Platformer attack. And that is what we're setting to true, yeah. Then why is the... Oh. Action. Oh, wait. We gotta set action too, maybe. I guess. Are we ever setting that? Here. Where are we setting that to true though? Action. I mean, I guess I'll just try setting it to true from here. Set bool action to true. But that's going to leave it true even after the attack is done, I think. Yeah, so now we're stuck in the animation instead. Yeah. Why? Any state. Yeah. Platformer attack. I really don't get why this is happening. Like, why do... What is this? Oh. Solo state. Okay, so these animations have some sort of other behavior. I guess I'll try adding that. See what happens. And then we don't forcefully set the action, I guess. Oh. What? Okay, so I click and it gets called. Like, it does happen, but on a really big delay. So my theory is that it lets... Yeah, it lets the idle animation play out, and then... So is that the exit time we set? Oh, yeah, it is. I thought the exit time was for the... I guess not. No, it's for the animation that we transition from. Not the one that we transition to, of course. Yeah. Perfect. So now we got some basic attack animation done as well. Right. So we have that, but we don't have any logic for the attack, of course. I'm not really sure. I guess I should add in some dummy enemy. Let's start by getting some better ground, because this is horrible. They're all like misaligned, which is super frustrating. And I'm a bit too scared to remove it in case it's actually tied to something. Shoot, no. Okay, let's just keep it like this, I guess. I guess I could add some other ones. Let's see here. No, not this one. Here. Ground. What about some other? We have the grass, right? What if we drag in these rocks somewhere? So this will be under tile. Yeah, we'll just use this folder. There we go. But they're all... Why are they... They're like offset half a tile up for some reason. What is going on? So what if I offset... Is it this? No. No. It's... wait. Maybe... Oh, it is. Yeah. It's my grid that I need to offset. For some reason. Okay. So let's remove this. And let's get an actual better looking ground going. But still, it's behaving really weird, I gotta say. What do we have here? Like, why is it doing this? Alright, let's just looks really odd. Okay, let's just keep it like this, I guess, for now. Right, that looks better. So then let's add some basic enemy. I think I have my prefabs here. No, not characters. Enemy instances. Who do we want to bully? Let's just bully some stupid goblin or skeleton. Here we go. We gotta unpack him. So it's not, because this is the enemies that I use in the actual main game. The ones that you fight. Right. So like I said, I don't want to do any health bar stuff. So you don't defeat them that way. You gotta knock them off the level to defeat them. Let's remove the enemy instance. Yeah, let's just keep a stupid idiot that has no logic, just stands there. Let's give him a rigid body. 9.82 gravity scale. Jump dust, moved. I guess we'll keep this. I guess we should add that to my character. While we still at it, we have this. This is the way they did it. Just two particle system references. I guess I'll do that. Okay, let's just keep it public. Move dust. When we use that, we just what? What in the world? All right. That's weird. If controller is grounded. Oh, something happened to the stream. I got some error notification on my end. Maybe not. It looks fine. Hold on. Let me just make sure it's not, nothing happened. No, seems fine. All right. So we have the move. I'll do the jump dust for now. I think that's easiest. Yeah. We just do jump dust dot play. I guess that's a one-time thing. We don't have to stop it. Jump dust play. We give that to the character. There we go. Let's see if that works now. Yeah. Now we got some little dust when we jump. Perfect. And of course, yeah. Now he's running again. Why is the idle? That's odd. If we're grounded, I'm not sure why it gets locked in this state. Alright, let's not get into that now, I guess. Because I want to try actually doing the fighting logic. Right, so I have the skeleton. We'll give him... Oh, he's already the enemy layer. Perfect. So what has the box collider? I think once we attack, we want to do some sort of checkbox. Look for enemies in that checkbox. And if we find any enemies, we get the difference between the enemy and the player. And we use that difference, which would be a vector, to launch the enemy in that direction. Which means if I hit an enemy that's above me like this, then they're going to get sent flying like that. But if I hit them when they're beneath me, then they'll get flying in the appropriate direction. I think that's the best way to start with it. And then we'll see how it looks and feels from there. I think I'll just run to the bathroom real quick. And then I'll get started on the fighting logic. I'll leave my party idle while I go. I'll leave them grinding. Alright, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Alright. If anyone's jumped in recently, make sure you wishlist Gridle. This is the game I'm currently working on. And if you want to try it, it's out for free. Like basic demo is out for free on the web. Same name there, of course. This is the development roadmap that I'm working on. So currently I'm in between these states, sort of. I haven't started looking into new classes, but I'm currently doing the items and the minigames sort of at the same time, I guess. So we got items, new classes, minigames, support classes, more levels, and then some achievements, leaderboards, and balancing and whatnot. The game is an incremental game where you just manage sort of like an RPG party to fight enemies that come in waves. Oh, and I just got killed by the boss. Right. So where was I? We were doing right, the fighting logic for the enemies. Sorry about that. Right. So obviously we gotta add some script for the enemy, I suppose. Jesus. Right, so let's just get started with a platformer enemy. Now the question is, how do we want to actually go about this? I think the enemy should internally keep like a damage number, the current damage it has taken. So the more you hit it, the more it's going to get sent flying and bouncing around the level. But the question is, do we want to do the attack logic in here? I guess we do. That would be easiest. And just rename the script to like platformer controller or character controller or something. Private void attack. I mean, I guess we're doing it in here. I think the best way to go... Or how do we want to go about this? One way would obviously be to define a point relative to the player, sort of like this. And then from this point, we create an actual like checkbox to check for enemies. But then once we flip around, we're not flipping the entire character. We're just flipping the sprite, and then this object is still here instead of here where it's supposed to be. So maybe it would be better to flip the entire character, like just scale him negatively around the x-axis. Once again, let's see how these guys did it. Do they have any flip X? No, they don't. Do they have any scale? Yes, they do. Yeah, that's what they do. They just turn the character, pretty much. So let's do that, I guess. They set the local scale. Yeah. Scale.x. Did they variable scale? I don't know. Equals transform local scale, and then yeah, scale.x equals sine of the x direction. But once again, that's going to let's see if it's going to add a bias, I think, when we stand still. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, it is adding a bias. Like, it always goes to the left when we stop. And also, we're doing the opposite. Why is that? I guess we'll just negate it. Yeah, that's fine. But like I said, it's adding bias. So let's only do this if the absolute value of the x direction is larger than 0.01. Like if we're actually moving, that's the only time we want to flip the character. If we're just standing still, then we just want him to face the direction he was. There we go. No bias. And we can jump on the enemy, which is weird, because he's on the enemy layer. He's not. Oh, we forgot to give the ground check, the actual ground check layer. That's why. Now we can't stand on enemy and jump, and we get stuck in the jump animation. I'm not sure if we want that really. We'll see what we do with it. Right. Now I got some error message again, and this is concerning. I think it might just be the chat that I lose connection to. I hope that's it. I hope this stream is not cutting out. No, it looks fine. Yeah. Right. Back to the attack logic. So now we have the... Okay, let's rotate this guy back to where it's meant to be, like that. So now we have the actual attack point we want to define. Let's see where it would be, like the center. Yeah. I think a bit to here. Keep in mind, we're going to like do a box around this point. Like we're not checking just this point. Yeah, I think this would be quite good. Like just a 1x1 box around this point. And then again, if we just flip the character. Yeah, then the point gets flipped appropriately. Great. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll just name this attack point. We won't give it collider, I don't think. No, I think we'll do an overlap box every time we attack. So obviously we need a reference to the attack point. Public transform attack point. And then we use this object's position to create the overlap box. It's been a while since I did an overlap box. I think it's something like this. Physics 2D dot overlap box all. And there's lots of arguments. A collider 2D array. No, wait, it returns a collider 2D array. So that's all the colliders that we overlap with. Potential hits, I guess. What was the arguments? It takes a point, and that will be our attack point. Dot position. A size that we just said would be 1x1 box. And an angle that will just be 0. Oh, I thought it would be harder than that. Alright, so then we gotta loop through all of these. For each collider 2D in the potential hits that we just got. Oh, I gotta for each hit in potential hit. And then I think we just want to check if the object has a platformer enemy component, then we do something. Otherwise, we just ignore it. If or we'll do platformer enemy equals hit dot get component. We just get the component, and this will return null if we don't have it. So then we just do a null check on that variable, and this will we only get in here if there is an actual platformer enemy component on this current hit object. And then we'll just call platformer enemy dot is damage. We'll just call it damage for now. And then of course we gotta, or no, deal damage, I guess. Oh, what? That was really weird. That's not how you do it. There we go. Right. So now, so that will actually call the function, but it won't. There's a lot of things we gotta do here to, or really one. We need to get the difference in the player's position and the platformer enemy position. I think I should add another function called or pushback. That actually gives us like the push force. Push force. So what we want to do here is we want to get the direction difference between the enemy and the player. And to do that, like we want it to point from the player to the enemy. And to do that, we take the enemy's position minus the player's position. Yeah. So we do hit dot transform. We get the transform component and the position. Take it minus our own transform dot position. There we go. Platform enemy dot pushback direction. There we go. So I think, of course, we need a reference to, or the enemy needs a self-reference to its own rigid body. RB equals There we go. And I think we'll just try it out by just setting the velocity to the push force multiplied by the damage that we've currently taken. I think we'll just add 2.5 damage each time the enemy gets hit. Yeah. I think that should do it. Platformer enemy. Now let's add some walls so he doesn't get launched off the map. Here we go. Now, fingers crossed. Come on. Oh, why is he... What? Oh, it's because I had this flipped when I tested. So no, it wasn't supposed to get... Or we weren't supposed to negate it in here. Yeah, so that was correct. It was just that the sprite renderer was flipped when we tested it. Alright, there we go. Now, fingers crossed, please. No! The variable attack point. Oh, we forgot to just assign the attack point, the reference to the point. There. And what about the enemy? It doesn't need any references. Okay, please. Yeah, he's being pushed back a little bit. Oh, and he gets more and more. Let's get him out a little bit. There we go. Why can't I jump though? Ground check. It's still... The ground check is still the default layer, which is weird. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so he's being launched. Oh no, that was wrong. I think we want to add some we always want to add some like upward force so that he actually gets slightly knocked upwards. Let's try doing that. Direction, so we'll just do direction plus equals. Let's try doing vector to that up. And then normalize it. See what happens. Okay, yeah. I think we wanna do it even further. Times 5, maybe. Let's see that. Yeah. That's a bit much, maybe, but yeah. Let's try juggling him out. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so 5 is a bit much. 3 maybe. And I think we want to do some we kind of want to... I think the enemy should have some initial damage, because right now you... Or maybe not. No, I think a little bit. Let's give them like 7.5, and then let's increase the damage by... Hold up. Let's give them 6 damage initially, and let's increase it by 2 each hit, so that they actually get some knockback even in the first hit. Come on, get out. Okay, so we gotta add, I think we gotta add some sort of bouncing to them. So they bounce between walls. Let's see how that works. Bouncy. 0 friction and... or maybe some friction. I think they should have friction, but also some bounciness. Let's just see how that works. There we go. Yeah, so now they sort of like bounce on the walls and whatnot. I think it's too low though. 5. No! No! I threw him out. Yeah. His hitbox is really weird too. I gotta fix that. I'm not sure why it's so wacky. Like the values. We'll do 0.5 on the offset. That will do, I think, 0.6 to 5. Yeah. That's much better. Alright. So now we can actually throw them out. There's no killing logic still. Like, there's nothing that removes stuff that falls out of the map. But we do have the basics here, which is nice. Of course, we need some. We need them to fight back in some way, not just bounce around. There we go. We got him. Right. Now, how do we want them to fight? Is the question. Like, do we want the player to have health, or do we want the player to have the same mechanic? Meaning that you get knocked around. Since this is a platforming game, I think it would work fine if we just knocked the player around a bit. Because obviously you'll die if you fall out of the world. Yeah, I think that should work fine. So then, we might need to get some pathfinding, whatnot. Like install a star to get them to actually fight back. But I think, I guess the first thing to do would just be get the enemy to just attack when the player is nearby. So I think we'll do that. Platformer enemy here. Now, how do we want to do this? I guess this should be... add damage. Because deal damage sounds like the enemy is dealing damage. We'll rename it. I guess we want the same logic here. Like, we want to do sort of an attack point. Define it. But the difference is this attack point should have a box collider, a trigger box collider, because that way we can detect when the player sort of enters and is nearby, and then we'll like add on a delay after half a second they'll attack. Right. So let's maybe do... I guess we'll do a bit of a smaller box for this. Since that will give the players some leeway room to attack the enemies while the enemies won't attack back. Yeah. So let's do... Is there a way to subscribe to like a game objects on trigger? Subscribe to other objects on trigger, because it feels unclean to do a separate script just to detect this trigger and then just pass it back to the enemy. Another game object. Let's see here. No, there's seemingly no way to do it without any, like, an external script. So yeah, I guess I'll just do this. Platformer enemy range. And we'll add the on trigger enter and the on trigger. No, I think we'll just do the on trigger enter maybe. And then we'll check if collision dot get component platformer movement, and that will only be true for the player. And then we'll do, we need a reference to this, a function called back, and in here we'll need a reference to the platformer enemy class. We will just call platformer enemy. Or is it possible to invoke it? I don't think so, no. So I guess we could do this to an numerator. No? Oh, we gotta do start coroutine. There we go. What this is, it basically allows you to like add a delay or add a wait inside of your function. Why is this red now? Oh no, okay, yeah. So then you gotta return return new wait for seconds, and then we add like 0.5. Why is that? Wait for seconds to enumerator. Huh? Why? Wait for seconds. Huh. Oh, right. Public void. No? Huh. How have I forgotten how to do enumerators? Let me just look it up. Enumerator. Yield. Oh, right. Yield return. There we go. So then we wait 0.5 seconds, and then we want to do the actual attack. So I guess I can just copy this from the player attack script. We need a reference to an attack point, of course, same as the player. Attack point. And then we'll do this of size. I think I'll try doing it one by one for now. And then we want to get the platformer movement, which is the player script. If that is not equal to null, then I think we'll just add. So this is where we can we could probably get these to have a shared parent class. I think I'll do that. So what we'll do is we add a platformer damageable, maybe? No. We'll do platformer creature or platformer help. I think that's better. We'll make this into an abstract class that derives from mono-behavior, of course. And then basically what we want to do is, where's the enemy? Here. We take the damage and the rigid body. We drag those into here. We take the awake method that gets the rigid body into here. Add damage and pushback we also want to add in here. And then I guess we should serialize these fields. As well as create a new variable called damage increase. Like that. So by doing this, we can just, in the platform enemy, we can remove both of these functions, or all of these three, as well as the damage and the rigid body references. And then we just inherit from the platformer help. There it will pretty much get all of these functions. They should be protected also. Protected means that they can't be accessed from other classes, but the child classes, i.e. this one, can actually reference them. There we go. Now there's something here, platformer movement. All right, we gotta add this to the player. More than one protection modifier. Oh, protected public void. Yeah, that's weird. There we go. And then we do the same thing for the player. We just take the platform movement, we have it inherit from the platformer health, and then here we gotta call the parent awake method too. That should get rid of these errors, yeah. And then since we made both the initial damage and the damage increase visible in the editor, we can edit these per object, pretty much. So like the skeleton could have 6 initial damage and 2 damage increase, but our player could have 0 initial damage, for example, and like 1 damage increase. Yeah. Now this... Oh, right, that's the attack point, yeah. So then we'll do enemy platform enemy range, give it a reference to the enemy, and I think that should do it. I think he should in theory now attack when I move close. It won't play in an animation though, because I don't have that implemented, but let's see. Object reference not set to instance of an object. Right, so there's something that's not set. Do we not have the... Oh, hold on. This is private. That's no good. Should have it to public so we can actually apply it. No, not jump dust. Here we go. And obviously we can't see it because there's no animation, but I should start taking some knockback eventually, I guess. I'm really... Why is he shaking so much? Stop. What? Would you stop? Oh, it's because he has the bouncy thingy. I think that's why. Or is it? Hello? Yeah, it is. I'm not sure why he would... Okay, now he's fine. Yeah, he is attacking me. As you can see, I start getting launched. And I'm being launched more and more, I think. Yeah, I am. Yeah. But I'm not being launched back at all. Which is a bit weird. Oh, wait. Right, because I just copied this. Or no, that's correct, isn't it? Direction is the hit minus our own position. That is correct. I think it's just this part that might be a bit off. Since we're adding... Yeah, we're adding... Oh, yeah. Basically, when we're really close, then the difference in the horizontal value will be really small. And then we add... If we add like 3 on top of that, and then normalize the vector, the y value will dominate so much that the x value becomes 0. So I think what I gotta do is I gotta normalize this value before on top of normalizing it after adding the up velocity. And let's also do this for... Hold on. This could also be extracted into the platformer health, in theory. But I'm not going to, I don't think. No. Let's keep it as is for now. Because there could be some objects that, I guess, can get damaged but won't attack back. Let's see how this works now. See, is he gonna... I mean, he is damaging me probably. Hello? Yeah, I'm getting bounced a little bit now. Oh. Still not being launched at all, like backwards. Oh. And I'm really not sure why that is. I guess I could try just not multiplying by like scaling the upwards force. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I think while we're at it, I should probably add some logic to make him plus added delay to make the enemy attack once again if he actually successfully hits the player, to make him like be able to combo. So we'll have this function take added delay argument, and then basically if we hit the player, then we want to call the LA attack function again with let's try 1 second delay. So that means he will attack once every 1.5 seconds. Let's see. Is he doing it? Yeah, he is. But I'm still not being launched back. I'm not sure why that is. Let's see. There we go. Let's compare these two. Direction equals. Yeah, it should be. Oh, right. Yeah, I just realized why that is. Because in the player movement, in the update function, we always like overwrite the X velocity. Which would be why, yeah. Yeah. That is a shame. I guess we could try doing this. Let's try updating the velocity only if we're grounded. Like only if we're standing on the ground. And then if we actually get launched. Wait, why were we? The same field name is serialized multiple times in the class. Oh, right, we have the rigid body, which is already in the platform help. So let's do this. Public virtual void pushback. And then what we want to do is we want to override this method. So when we get pushed back, we start by just calling the same pushback method that pushes us back, obviously. What was it called? Push force. And we say that we are no longer grounded. And then let's add some additional. Maybe let's give us some addition or some initial damage. Let's see what happens. There we go. We can still move like usual. The problem is now that when we jump, we can't turn midair. And there's something really wrong here. Oh, right, because when he... Let's try not doing that at all. No, it's still doing that. Yeah, I think I'll need to look into further how to do this movement stuff in a better way. Because obviously now it's being, the X velocity is being overwritten. Which is no good, of course. Let's see here. Let's move this back out again. And let's not do any of this. There we go. All right, I think honestly I'll leave the stream at this point. This feels like a good way to end it off. For some reason I can't jump anymore. Grounded, which is weird. Let's see why that is. Oh no, I can't jump. Okay, it's just some weird bug, I guess. But yeah, I think I'll leave the stream at here. Tomorrow, I guess we should get started on the actual level design stuff. Now we just did the movement and the physics and whatnot, and we got the actual some basic fundamentals of combat done to experiment with. So tomorrow, yeah, I'll start with level design, hopefully get some pathfinding going with the enemies so they actually start seeking the player out. Set up some goal and some spawn point and whatnot. Yeah, I think that's a good way to start it off. Once again, as I said, if you haven't already, make sure to wishlist Gridle on Steam. It's the game that I've been working on this entire stream. And hopefully a demo will be ready at the end of the summer. Right, so thanks for watching, everyone. I'll stream again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you all then. Thank you.